If, though, that at the same time Christ, for instance, in Matthew chapter 6, talks about, us having merits, merits by, fasting, merits by prayer, merits by almsgiving, and Jesus himself uses that term, then is there not necessarily some form of merit?
Can I ask a question in rabbinical rhetoric?
No.
What is the context of Matthew 6? To whom is it addressed specifically?
He's addressing it to the disciples in the context of the crowds to explain how not to pray, how not to give alms, and how not to fast.
And all of it is in the context of Judaism as it was then abused.
Right.
Right? Mm-hmm. Now, we're moving out of the concept of law, the covenant of law, which emphasized meritorious behavior. Mm-hmm. Okay? Job was a righteous man. Why? Yeah. Well, he not only believed God, but he also offered sacrifices. Viewpoint changes in the New Testament because you are no longer under a covenant of law, as were the Jews. Now you're under covenant of grace. Grace does not exclude obedience to God, but grace is what redeems, not the concept of piling up merits.
Okay, and again, Trent in the same paragraph says that too. It is said we are said to be justified gratuitously because none of the things that precede justification, whether faith or works, merit the grace of justification.
But
we don't teach in Catholicism that you can merit the grace of justification at all. And Trent specifically rejects that. But there is room for merit because Christ himself gives that room by saying that you need to merit properly.
But not as a means of redemption.
Wrong.
But not as a means of redemption.
That's what they say here. It does not merit the grace of justification.
If it doesn't, then the act of justification itself outside of man is sufficient. If you can't do anything to improve justification, what God did in Romans 4 with Abraham is kaput. It's over.